I'm going to call the meeting to order. This is a public hearing, and we are the Putnam County Planning Commission. We are the designated local planning agency for the county as described under Title 11, Chapter 163 of the Florida Statutes, and we function under the authority of Articles 11 and 12 of the Putnam County Land Development Code. The primary responsibility of the commission is to serve as an advisory body to hear and make recommendations to the Board of County Commissioners on matters related to provisions of the proposed amendments to the Putnam County, I had some steroids today, so I'm kind of like, Putnam County Comprehensive Plan and Putnam County Land Development Code. The members of this committee will review each application and make a recommendation to the Board of County Commissioners at a regularly scheduled meeting on July 25th, 2023. Procedurally, we will call each case by name and number. A member of staff will then briefly explain to us the nature of each request. We will take comments from the applicant or the representative, followed by any public comments concerning the request. Please direct all comments or statements to the commission and not to other people in the audience. Before speaking, we will ask each person to be recognized, come forward to the lectern, and identify his or herself by name and address. After all persons wishing to speak have been heard, we will entertain a motion from the commission. This motion will be voted on by the commission members and will become our recommendation to the Board of County Commissioners. The Board of County Commissioners will make the final determination regarding the application. Does anyone have any ex parte communication regarding any of the cases today?
Outside of me talking to the gentleman, the applicant, about our hearts, no.
Okay. Is that going to change your, I'm kidding. Okay.
He's got the same condition background.
Okay. So the first case to be considered is SM 23-003.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm just waiting for my screen to pop up here. Hang on one second. Give me 1 second. I'll go speak to IT real quick. I think it's under here.
Yeah.
All right, sorry about that. And Madam Chair, if you wouldn't mind, these two items are being ran concurrently, so my presentation will be for both the rezoning and the future land use map amendment. And you can either make two recommendations at the end, or we can hear them separately, but they're obviously similar in nature. So if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to present a very brief presentation. This is a pretty simple case. And okay, great. So as I mentioned, these are two applications running concurrently, both an amendment to the future land use map from agricultural. This is not the right PowerPoint. Hang on, I think we pulled up the wrong PowerPoint here.
Right below that one.
Second, my apologies again. Here we go. Well, for whatever reason, it's not pulling up on here. If you wouldn't mind, do you guys have your staff reports in front of you?
No. I got one. With that? Yeah. Me and Tom are sharing.
Yeah, my apologies, it's not pulling up. So let me right-click. So this is two applications. One is to amend the future land use designation from commercial to urban service, and the rezoning application is to rezone from both C2 and agricultural to residential 1. The impetus of this, both of these amendments are to allow an existing residential use. It's a historical structure. It was built, from what I've heard, back in the 1850s. There are 2 residential structures on it. The applicant just wishes to rehabilitate the structure, and as it currently stands, it's within the commercial future land use designation. It does not allow for the habitation of residential use unless it does not wish to do a commercial use there. They just want to live in the main primary structure. And there's also another small structure, a small residential structure. I think it's less than 900 square feet on the property. So they just wish to maintain that residential use. It is directly to the east of the parcel. It is urban service land use that is geared towards a variety of mixed uses. However, there is residential directly east of them. And this is, a commercial node. However, there is sporadic residential throughout that corridor there. So we don't see any, staff doesn't see any compatibility issues at all. And we're recommending approval for both the land use map amendment and the rezoning. And that concludes my presentation without the PowerPoint. So, but the agent for the applicant's here, and if you have any questions, staff's here to answer questions as well.
Are there any questions for staff at this time?
Sure. Because there's 2 units on the parcel, and urban service allows for a higher density. I think it's a 5-acre parcel, but it allows for the additional density, and it's compatible with
Surrounding.
the surrounding land use is correct.
Yeah.
To the east. Yeah, that whole corridor is all commercial and urban service. You'll notice that both State Road 17 and 100, it was geared towards urban service to encourage economic development in the area. No, we did not, because it was an existing an existing residential use with a non-compatible land use designation and zoning designation.
We did change that in the comp plan.
Yeah, we changed quite a bit, that whole corridor. If you look at page 2 of 7, those are the surrounding land uses. To the north is commercial land use. To the west is commercial. It's across 17. To the south is urban service, and to the east is urban service. With central water and central sewer, you can get 1 dwelling unit per acre. much it does, yeah, it does.
I'm just questioning why we want to increase the density all the way up to 24, when they don't really need it. Their intention is, my understanding, what I read here, just to fix up 2 houses that are there that are
Correct.
a little bit over.
That is correct. The intention, like when the comprehensive plan and the future land use maps were amended back in 2021, that entire corridor was slated for urban service and commercial. And so we thought, in the spirit of being compatible with surrounding land uses and the intent of designating that entire corridor urban service, we thought it was more compatible with what the intent of the comprehensive plan rewrite was.
Ken, I think you're missing the color code here. This area here is all urban service. It doesn't look brown because it's, and this is rural residential over here, but all around this is urban service. According- I think, Joe, you've done your,
I'm going to try to pull up the map. I'm not sure what,
so I think it's actually brown, but and this is,
Pull it on property appraiser, it's gonna tell you it's rural residential.
well, there's no service in here for me to do that.
I don't call, that wouldn't even be compatible with the surrounding area. I don't think there is any rule. I'm
So
trying to
I
pull
think
the map
we're,
right now. I'm going to try to pull up the map and see what you're talking about as far as what's rural residential. That's what I'm doing right now.
you're on the board. So the brown is all urban service.
That is correct. What you're looking at is the subdivision further east. That entire corridor is commercial and urban service, even though it looks it. And I'm using our county GIS maps. Is it pulled up here? That's commercial. This is all urban service, this color here. This is rural residential. Urban service.
Okay, we can proceed.
I will say this, the property appraiser maps are not always correct. I use the county GIS maps to update those. So not all the property appraiser maps are. Even, and the printout probably does look like. No, it's not. That's incorrect. Well, I encourage my staff to use the county GIS maps because the property appraiser does not update their maps. I found several parcels that, with the property appraiser, that are incorrect. So I encourage my staff to use the county GIS. On property appraiser, I'm not sure that, you'll have to reach out to them, but I'm not sure they're even updating their maps anymore. I know they updated them subsequent to the 2021 comprehensive plan map amendments, but yes, it's all. Further you go east or west, you get more residential. Those are probably your rural residential.
Okay. Any other questions for staff? we'll entertain a motion first on the SM 23003.
I move we recommend to approve Comprehensive Plan Amendment SM 23-003 as it is consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the Putnam County Comprehensive Plan.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, then I'll call for a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. So motion, anybody opposed? Motion passes unanimously. I'll entertain a motion on the rezoning case.
I move we recommend to approve rezoning REZ 23-008 as it is consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the Putnam County Comprehensive Plan.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, I'll call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Any opposed? All right, motion passes unanimously. So that will go to the County Commission at their July 25th meeting. I'm glad to see you're bringing that old house back. I grew up in that area, so yeah, it is. It's a gorgeous property too. So, all right, do we have any old business? Any new business?
Madam Chair, what can I ask you about PUDs? What can I ask the board about upcoming events and there being PUDs? Explain to me how we put a PUD on a piece of property.
I would say you should probably have a conversation with Joe.
Sure.
Because we can't discuss upcoming events as a board without.
Just PUDs in general.
Right.
You just want to know, Chairman, are you just asking?
Well, we put some PUDs on the Bayou Club.
Yeah,
We put some recommendations that they had to do such and such and such before they started construction. And so I just need to know, and I guess I'll need to
You can explain it if you want to explain real quick.
yeah, sure. I'll give my best. I'll try to answer your question. Typically, a planned unit development is what PUD stands for, the design standards. So pretty much, rather than adhering to the code or land development code, they could tell us what they wanted to do within the development agreement, and we could either agree or not agree. And typically with a PUD, you'll sit at the table with a developer and say, okay, we'd like to see this or this. It's an option, and typically you do it when there's a mixture of uses. It's rare that you'll see it with, and I know that Bio Club, they had initially proposed a combination of commercial and residential uses within the PUD. I don't know that they're moving forward with the commercial uses, so that was why they did the PUD, so they could spell out their design standards within the development agreement, and that becomes a recorded document.
But our board actually the board here actually decided some of the things that they should do. Fix the roads first, fix the water first.
Correct, so that was,
Requirements for them to continue on with their development.
and typically you would capture that, staff would capture that in the rezoning phase. However, this was done, I think that was back in early 90s. So, I can't speak for staff at that time. Now, if it would have gone through this staff, we would have conditioned the rezoning. This got captured a little later on, and the commission here imposed some conditions, I think, to alleviate some concern amongst the people living there already. Normally, if you see a PUD come before you now, or a subdivision come before you now, we're going to capture it at the rezoning phase. It just didn't. Some of those things, you can't see the future and what their sewage treatment plant's going to be 20 years from now. So I don't think it was captured back then for obvious reasons, and so these concerns came up when they finally are finishing up the subdivision and came before you this panel as a subdivision application. Hope that answers your question. If you feel free to talk to me after as well.
I know the county commission added 3 more than we did.
Yeah, there was quite a bit
They
of
added more-
discussion.
They added more stuff too.
Yeah, there was quite a bit of discussion on it.
They already have.
Long time ago.
But it's, I didn't realize our board did, our board had requested that they have a PUD, which I was surprised at. I figured we would just be voting on what was in there. But okay, I'm getting better with it.
Yeah, they already had a PUD when they came to us. but
Correct.
They just wanted to modify it.
That was to the subdivision application. That wasn't a rezoning. They already had those entitlements back from the 90s. So they had, I think it was 100+ units that they already were entitled to. They had those development rights since the 90s when they got rezoned PUD. So that rezoning has been existing since the early 90s.
Right, but we requested that they get their water fixed first for
Right.
everybody.
Correct.
And fix the roads and a couple other things that weren't on, they didn't have to do that unless we required them with a PUD.
Yeah, the application that came before you was their subdivision file, was their plat. So they were platting those lots. They were configuring the layout of those new lots. Even though they have the entitlements, they haven't laid it out yet. And so now they can begin selling those lots. So when it came before this board 20-something years later, obviously there were some issues with the developer and the people living there that they wanted dealt with, and this commission was able to address those concerns at that later stage.
Pretty sure our suggestion on the roads was to do it after the construction is done, so.
Correct. And I think that motion carried through the Board of County Commissioners as well, or will.
Where are we on the land development code rewrite?
As you're aware, Zachary is going to be on paternity leave, I believe, beginning this Friday or Monday. He will be working remotely on the land development code. I know Commissioner Turner has put together a citizen group, and they're meeting regularly, I think every other Friday, and going over a list that staff has put together of land development code stuff. As far as outside consulting, I'm not sure. I know that the funding is still present in the budget. It was still there when I did it.
Right.
So I know that they're moving forward with it.
So we don't have a consultant at this time?
We've not ID'd one as of yet. But I know that what we're trying to do right now is take care of some of the low-hanging fruit. So there are some amendments moving forward that's being done internally with staff.
Okay.
I don't know that we've distributed anything to citizens as of yet. I think this is the grassroots effort. We're just looking at the amendments and seeing what we think needs to be addressed immediately because our code is antiquated. So we're trying, I think, this is the initial grassroots stage. So I sure can, yeah. I mean, it is. Sure. Yeah, but Zachary will be working on that remotely from home. He'll be, I believe, he'll be out on paternity leave for about 6 weeks, and I'm pretty knowledgeable what's going on, though. My staff keeps me updated, and our new director, Brian Helms, who you will meet, he was at another meeting, so he was unable to attend tonight or today, but you'll be introduced to him. He's very knowledgeable. He's working closely with Zach and the citizens group on the forthcoming amendments, but not an ordinance written yet. We're just simply looking at the code and seeing what needs to be changed now. Yeah, I can speak with administration and see and advise this commission next time we meet. I know I have a ton of planning applications in, so you guys are going to be seeing me quite a bit. So I can provide an update next time we meet.
Okay, any other new business. So I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting, May 10th. I have a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, you did. So then we adjourn. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.